Hey everybody, I'm Scott from Shooting Brake, and today we're super excited because we're going to give you a sneak preview, if you will, of a car that's going to be coming soon to shootingbrake.com. It is indeed this fine-looking 2018 Alpine A110. You've no doubt read about the Alpine A110 since its official launch back in 2017, but you might not know that this is the first car that Alpine has built since the A610, which rolled off the assembly line in Dieppe nearly 30 years ago. Beyond simply the design, this newer version carries over much of the original car's DNA. That's to say that the car is incredibly lightweight, more on that in a second, and as well, the driving characteristics of this car are magnifique. Let's have a little walk around. While highly subjective, of course, I think this car is just a lovely little thing to look at. I think the proportions are just bang on, pretty much perfect. By virtue of it being a mid-engine car, it starts a little higher in the back, and then it flows nicely down to the front where it's obviously a little lower. I love some of the air intake features here on the side. You've got the tricolore badge as well, which is super cool. All in all, I just think it's a great looking car. It's low to the ground, and it's a little shorter than a Cayman, for example. It's super cool looking. Moving to the inside of the car, I love the fit and finishing in here. I think it's all just super cool. It's very, very nice. The other thing is this car, there's oodles of room in here too. I'm a reasonably tall guy, and I'm not at all cramped. Rumor has it that, or as the story goes, the original MD of Alpine, he was 6'7" tall, and he was insistent that any car that got designed had to be able to fit him. So this car is actually loads of legroom for someone like me. It's got loads of headroom as well. You can see they've kind of bubbled out either side here to give yourself additional headroom. All in all, this is a very tidy, spacious cabin. But enough of my waffle, let's take it for a spin. Okay, so what is the Alpine A110 like to drive? In a word, this is a ton of fun. But you know what as well? It's incredibly compliant, and it's got to be coming from the chassis. Now, lest we forget that this car, it doesn't have an adaptive suspension option. We've got old school double wishbones front and rear. This car is just a ton of fun. But here's the thing, you've got to drop it in to sport mode at the very least. I'm going to do that now. That's when this car just comes alive. Now, I don't know if you can hear that on the microphone, I'm never sure. That's one of the things that always annoys me with videos is when people say, listen to this, listen to this. But you just gotta believe me, this car sounds awesome. It's not so much point and shoot, because you got a lot more, you know what I'm gonna call it? I'm gonna call it the flow factor. This car just flows into the corners so nicely. It's literally like it's just carving. It's a knife through butter, this. Yep. The one thing we didn't talk about is the exact weight of this car. You ready for this? This weighs 1,100 kilos. Some 300 kilos less than a Cayman, 300 kilos less than a TT. 300 kilos, if you think about that, that's the equivalent of like 3 props on the England rugby team. So where do they get these weight savings from? They're basically all over the car. They get them from these Seatbelt ultra lightweight seats. They get them from the speakers and the doors. They get them from the brakes, the Brembo brakes. They get it, it's a master class in engineering in terms of lightweight, weight reduction engineering. And then if you want something just a little bit more special, then you got to throw it into track mode. And that's where this car just really takes on just a whole different vibe. The sound, the responsiveness, the gear changes, it's incredible. It really is just incredible. I mean, the reality is this car is incredibly comfortable to drive. It's just, you could daily this car very easily. It's spacious, it's comfortable. It's not offensive. You could absolutely, there's enough room for you in here. You could put in a couple bags of shopping with you. It's just an incredibly comfortable car. It's got air conditioning, the seats are comfy. Originally, this car was stocked with 250 horsepower. It's had a gentle retune. It's now up to 300 horsepower, which puts it on par with the newer, more expensive A110S. So remember, this incredibly cool Alpine A110 will soon be going live on shootingbrake.com. Registering at shootingbrake.com couldn't be easier. It takes you 5 seconds to enter your personal details, and then it takes you another 15 seconds to enter your credit card details via our secure third-party payment provider, Stripe. All this to say, in about 20 seconds, you can be bidding on this super cool car. Get involved, get bidding. Thanks very much.